What is up, everybody? This is Ecstatic, and today I'm going to be talking about Elder Scrolls Online and why you should give it a second chance. I know when the game came out that it was buggy, and frankly, it was just a bad game. They released it just too early, and they put out a game that wasn't finished. They rushed it out of production, and they spent like a long time afterwards trying to recover for that mistakes, but they did put a lot of work into that game. You know, Afterwards, they've reworked the game a lot. There's a lot of cool new things they've added, and they've fixed a lot of the old problems. And honestly, like people gave ESO a really bad rap when it first came out, and I don't blame them. It was a bad game back then, but now it's a different story, and I think it's really worth replaying. You know, Especially if you're a lover of the Elder Scrolls series. I mean, it's packed full of lore and all that goodness. Just like any Elder Scrolls game. It's very similar to Skyrim, but just the quest lines are more similar to World of Warcraft. But everything else about the game is more similar to Skyrim. Anyways, I just think that Elder Scrolls Online is really worth giving a second shot. And if you haven't known or haven't heard already, the game is no longer subscription based. It's now free to play, so you don't have to worry about paying for the game once you buy it. And I paid, I think, $20 on Steam for the game. Might have been on sale, but it's not a very expensive game. It's not a $60 game. And if you really, really enjoy the Elder Scrolls games, I would really recommend Elder Scrolls Online because it's brought a lot of new features into the game in terms of, part way because it's an online game. It draws influence from games like World of Warcraft, but it's also brought a lot of new things that you will probably be seeing in the next Elder Scrolls game as well. You know, and one of those things is a more advanced crafting system. Now, the crafting system is a lot more advanced than the one in Skyrim. In Elder Scrolls Online, there is a lot more things you can craft instead of just, smithing, alchemy, and enchanting for, the being able to create things in the game, really. You have woodworking, provisioning, clothing making, you have blacksmithing, as well as alchemy and enchanting, as in Skyrim. So instead of just three, there is now six. So they've effectively doubled the amount of crafting you can do in the game. And, you know, the way you craft is also, I think, not better in a way than Skyrim's, because I wouldn't say it's different, but it's a good crafting system, and they did a really good job with it, and it really fits with Elder Scrolls Online. You can tell it's meant for an online type of game, but they could apply the same similar aspects of the crafting system in Elder Scrolls Online to Elder Scrolls 6, and that's going to be really exciting to see, them just, improving upon the game in as many ways as possible, because, the more they improve the game, the more fun you're going to have, and we all love playing Skyrim, that's why we played the game for 300-400 hours, That's why there's so many YouTube channels and dedicated to Skyrim and the Bethesda games, because we all love them so much, But this is a game I think people are just overlooking because they think it was half-assed, but they've really gone back and kind of filled in the cracks. This is a solid game, If you look on most online ratings, they give it about a 7 out of 10. And, I think a lot of ratings are a little harsh a lot of times. You know, this game isn't that bad. You know, it's not a C in my book. You know, I'd say it's like a B, more like 80%. You know, 8 out of 10. It's not a great game. It's not Skyrim. I'm not saying it's a game that's gonna consume your life for ages. You know, it can, but it's not the same kind of game as Skyrim. It's a whole different type of game, you know. But it just draws a lot of aspects from Skyrim. You know, it's sort of like Skyrim on a diet, if you will. It's a lighter, sleeker version, and I mean, the graphics are toned down a little bit. You aren't able to shoot spells out of your hands like you are in a Skyrim game, but you are able to cast them via hotkey, so it doesn't really take them out of the game, and I just think that's more of a choice by the developer, because they just really didn't want to make it seem exactly like Skyrim. They wanted to make it seem more like an MMO game and not like an RPG Skyrim type game. You know, they wanted to make it Elder Scrolls Online, you know. So that's why they, you know, have hotkey spells instead of casting it out of your hands, and you know, that's why the story is a little bit less engaging, and that's why the gameplay is a little bit sped up. I think it's more of a kind of like a hack and slash, almost like Diablo 3, but you're playing from a lower down perspective, not that, you know, bird's eye view perspective. You know, but it's still a fun game, and I do really think you guys should give it a second chance and check it out. So,
You did it. I couldn't believe it when I heard the crash, but you brought the whole place down. Almost cost you your life. I searched through the rubble. Was just about to give up. Glad I found you, though. After what you did, it was an honor. You shut them down. Our soldiers cleared out the stragglers. No more Ironheads. I know General Godron will want to see you. So you survived. I worried you were buried along with the ogres. For collapsing that cavern, you deserve a medal. Unfortunately, though, General Godron's in no condition to hand out awards. I don't know. When he heard the cavern collapse, he declared mission accomplished for the Iron Hand ogres. But then he ordered me to muster the troops and prepare to march on Wayrest. So you survived. I don't know. They're just upstairs. I know Abbot Duroc will be relieved to see you. He said to send you up right away when you return. Whatever's going on, I hope you can help General Godron. He's like a father to me.
The Omen has pulled Godron into it. Praise Azura. I was losing faith. You were right about General Godron. The Omen of betrayal has the General in its grips. He was going to betray Emmerich and attack Wayrest. This was Vaermina's ultimate plan, to destroy the Daggerfall Covenant. It sounds like her Omen has been twisting the General's mind, convincing him to betray King Emmerich. I suspected the Omen was manipulating events toward that end, but by defeating the ogres, you exposed its plan before it was ready. No. Vaermina and her minions still have the General in their grips. You've done this before, so I think you should do it again.
Don't question my orders. Just tell the commander we need more soldiers and more supplies.
Yes, General. If you say we need them, then we need them.